Welcome to part A of the third video in Lysna's Team Behavioural Research series, which introduces you to our ongoing research into the behaviour of teams and what that reveals about the underlying team dynamics. The focus of the third video is on questioning and listening behaviour. This video is part A, which looks at questioning. Part B, which is a separate video, looks at listening behaviour. Questions have long been regarded as a powerful behaviour, especially when used in a pull style of persuasion, as opposed to a push style when you persuade someone by telling them. A push style can work when you have power or authority over the team or the person. The decision has already been taken and can't be changed, or if time is short. But in team meetings, where you want to get everybody on board of a decision and the quality of the outcome is vital, then a questioning or participative pull form of persuasion tends to be more effective. The reality is that in Western culture at least, we don't really get trained in the art of question making. School teaches us to answer questions rather than ask them. Most people's understanding of questions doesn't go beyond whether they are open or closed. Open questions, which tend to start with what, how or why, are good for opening up a conversation and getting lots of information from another person. Closed questions invite the answer yes or no and are good for clarifying and focusing on specific facts. In our experience, most questions asked in most business conversations tend to be closed, which suggests people are using questions to confirm what they already suspect or know, or to get specific information that will help themselves, rather than as a way of opening up the conversation or getting the other person to think. So it's good to encourage people to ask more open questions, but in our research, we are more interested in the content of the question rather than its grammatical qualities. We categorise questions into 5 types. The first one we call seeking feelings values, which asks for a positive or negative reinforcement or for a statement as to how the person is feeling or what is important to them, i.e. their values. Our second type is seeking proposal needs, which is asking for actionable ideas or future goals. Third is seeking problems, which is looking for what is or could be going wrong in the environment. Fourth is seeking reasons, which is seeking a deeper understanding of the motivators or causes behind a particular decision or action. And finally, we have seeking information, which includes questions that ask for facts or general information, in fact anything not covered by the other 4 types. Here we have a graph of the frequency of these question types in a real team meeting. We find that people ask far more seeking information, feelings, values and proposals needs than they do problems and reasons. The 3 people in the meeting also differed in what type of behaviour they used the most, each person favouring a different type of question. So this tells us something about what is important to each different member of the team. Now let's look at how and when we might use these different questions. Starting with seeking feelings values, you can use this behaviour to ask how people feel, what is important to them to identify their values, and to seek consensus on what has been said. The answers help us to understand where people are emotionally and what is driving their decision making and actions. Seeking feelings values can also help to move the meeting forward by gaining consensus on each agenda point. We can also use it to seek permission in a meeting, which is an effective way of getting people engaged. We always recommend starting meetings with a check-in, especially when working online, using seeking feelings values to establish how everyone is feeling. This allows people to get any emotional baggage out on the table and clear it away so that the team can move on with the discussion. Finally, seeking feelings values is a useful behaviour when you encounter Poker Face Sam, whom we introduced in video 2. Remember, Poker Face Sam doesn't tend to tell you how they are feeling nor whether they agree or not with what is being said. So be prepared to direct seeking feelings values at them to elicit a response. To summarise, people who use seeking feelings values care about the emotional health of the team and the need to create that sense of belonging and connection that teams need to function well. Moving on to seeking proposals needs. This is a positive, future-focused question in terms of what needs to change, what is required, or what needs to be done. Use it at the start of a meeting to establish the content of the agenda and clarify the purpose. In general, we use it to encourage people to state their own goals and ideas they can action, which is why it is the most important behaviour used by effective coaches. Asking people to state their own goals and proposals for action generates a sense of responsibility and ownership, which drives commitment and ensures people regard the goals and proposals as fair and achievable. Seeking proposals needs also includes questions that explore the impact of change and also ask the other person to reflect on what has worked for them in the past or what strengths they have that they could use to move forward. One point to make about seeking proposals needs is that when we ask managers to use the behaviour, they don't always get it right first time if they are working in a traditional organisational culture. They are so used to putting forward their ideas that they think a seeking proposals needs means turning their idea statement into a question, rather than asking a question that puts the onus on the other person to come up with the idea. And when challenged on this, managers have been heard to say, yes, but what if they come up with the wrong idea? On the other side, does the employee want to come up with their own idea, or do they want to be told what to do? Much of this comes down to whether or not there is a trust culture in place, as that will affect how much the employee is willing to wear the hat of responsibility and the apron of risk, because that is what comes with seeking proposals needs. To summarise, people who use seeking proposals needs are focused on getting things done and moving things forward. They are action orientated and are looking for change. They are also participative by nature because they let others come up with the ideas rather than suggesting them themselves. Moving on to seeking problems, we find that people generally don't like asking them, and in some cultures they are completely taboo. What we notice is that in any culture you need to feel relatively safe with a person in order to discuss issues, which means you need to have a relatively secure base yourself and have a connection with the other person. Seeking problems differs from seeking feelings is that the latter focuses on how the person is feeling inside, while seeking problems focuses on what is happening in the external environment that is causing that feeling. For example, the person could have problems with their health, team relationships, falling sales, or production stoppages. Seeking problems uncovers the key issues, and then you can use seeking proposals needs to identify an appropriate solution. Seeking problems plays an important part in any change process, as problems or dissatisfaction are key drivers for change. So if you have someone who is reluctant to change, then seeking problems can uncover the issues and their current or future impact, which will then create movement towards change. And when a solution is identified, you can also use seeking problems to consider future risks. Again, this can then lead to exploring how to mitigate the risks using seeking proposals needs. Our fourth question type, seeking reasons, is about going beneath the waterline and identifying causes. Seeking reasons can follow on from any of the other question types we have mentioned, be it exploring what lies behind a feeling, what is driving a particular course of action, or the cause of a problem. Fundamentally, it is about asking the question, why? Any student of coaching will know that asking why questions is generally frowned upon, which may explain why we hear so few seeking reasons. The purpose of seeking reasons is to get a better understanding of a situation or where the other person is coming from, as it deepens inquiry, which we know adds value. But when we ask why questions, they often come across as judgmental. This is often because of the way they are used. Most adults in Western organisations are used to feeling judged rather than understood. Take a look at these example questions. Where would you place them on the judgmental to understanding scale? We suggest that the more the seeking reasons is focused away from the person and is not asking them to justify previous actions, the less judgmental the why question will sound. And if we change the wording to remove the word why, would that make a difference? So, when using seeking reasons, consider the focus of the question and how it might come across to the other person when you are wording it. We also have to take into consideration the cultural context and who is asking the question. Small children, for example, often ask questions starting with why. Whilst parents may sometimes find this exasperating, they are more likely to view it as curiosity rather than judgmental, even when the question gets personal. However, if their other half asks the same personal question, they are more likely to feel judged. So the response to your seeking reasons questions will depend on the relationship that you have with the other person and their expectations of you. Our final type is seeking information. This can cover a wide range of different questions, ranging from a request for simple facts to more detailed and technical explanations. By analysing the balance of seeking information to giving information, we can get a sense of the knowledge sharing that is going on within the team, in terms of who is a knowledge collector, i.e. asking the questions, and who is a knowledge donator. Appropriate knowledge sharing is another key attribute of an effective team. To summarise, our 5 question types uncover a range of different information, from internal feelings to proposals for action and future needs, problems that need addressing, what lies beneath the waterline, and the sharing of knowledge. This is the end of Part A of Video 3. Here are some questions for you to think about for your meetings. In Part B, we will introduce you to our listening behaviours, and if you want to take part in this research, then please get in touch with one of us.